I want to start today's show with you watching this Meghan Markle clip. This is the one that's gone viral over the weekend. It is ridiculous because Meghan Markle, I think, is a very polarizing person. You've got people who are like, she was treated unfairly. And by the British press, by the British royal family. And I don't know if anybody really disputes that. But then there are people who are like, hey, she's also full of it.
Well, and two can exist, right?
And that's I'm in the second camp.
Yeah.
I think she was treated unfairly. I think she was treated extremely poorly by a press corps in the UK that are insane. But I also think she might be full of it. And where I think she might be full of it is, I just discussed being a parent at the movie theater and how crazy it is and how tired you are, right?
Yeah.
And if there's one thing that I've realized as I've gotten older with a kid is that the only people who have spare time are rich people.
Yeah.
And they're not aware of how much extra time they actually have. And Meghan is one of them. And I want you to watch this clip because she did a podcast recently. And we're going to talk a little bit about that podcast specifically. But I first want you to just watch this clip and see if your mother did this.
Even the headline is insufferable.
What she says in this clip is, to me, extraordinarily stressful for the child. That's a lot of expectation. Have a listen.
I'd created for the kids these email addresses that sort of like names, again, that you would never guess, that I will give them at some point in their lives when they're older. But before I go to bed almost every night, I email them.
Wow.
I email because it doesn't have to be a heavy lift, and you email them like, here's your report card from today, or oh my gosh, you said the funniest thing this morning, or here's a picture of you two having breakfast, or here's you playing with the dog. The things that you're not going to frame, the things that you're not going to put pen to paper in a journal, but they will end up at one point in their life, maybe when they're 16 or when they're 18, that I say, here's an email that I've been keeping for you.
I have full body chills right now.
For your whole life.
This poor
Here's
interviewer.
everything and every moment that I wanted to tell you how much I love you and like how proud I am of you, and of all things that's making me emotional. For them to be able to look back and go, oh my gosh, she has loved us so much.
All right.
I can't.
Now.
I can't. She thinks that this makes her relatable. That's the thing, is like she's
So people have done the calculations. And by the time those kids are 18, they will have 4,000 plus emails, if this is true. 4,000 emails, give or take. I'm assuming she's claiming she does it every night.
She does. She absolutely does.
That's like people who claim they have sex every day. It's like maybe twice a week max. What are you talking about? And I felt like, I'm like, if my mother did this, I'd be like, thanks, but I ain't reading all that shit. like, no way. That is way too stressful. I don't want that kind of responsibility to have to, you went to all this effort and I simply don't need to know that much about myself. Like, there are things, the one thing about being a kid.
That's pushy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing about being a kid is like, hey, I some of this should be forgotten.
Yeah.
I wasn't exactly at my best. You know what I mean?
It's also like, I have documented your entire childhood, but it's only through her eyes. It's like, here's all your memories as I remember them.
Yeah.
So it's like,
which is, fine, because that's.
Well, it's kind of controlling. Like,
yeah, I mean,
in a
like,
weird
listen,
way. You know?
What else? What other way is she going to do it? If she was going to do it,
not at all.
The whole thing,
not at all.
So the whole thing stems from, there was this thing, and I did this actually a little while ago, where it's like, register your kid's email.
I remember you did, yeah.
And I have my daughter's full email with her name. And
just so she has it.
So she has it. And the idea was they literally said, like, send a couple emails that, along the way or whatever. And I think I've done it twice. Like, I really just wanted her to have the email and that sort of thing. But then you have people like this who take it to the extremes. Like, no, I'm going to do it every day. I am here to tell you, as a parent, and I love my kid so much, something special does not happen every day.
No, it doesn't.
Sometimes you go a whole week and it's like, hey, man, we just got through the week as a family. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think we need to get back to that a little bit of like, the sunshine doesn't fly out of your ass every day. It's okay. Like, we're all right.
But also, it's an enormous amount of pressure to be like, when you turn 18, you have 4,000 emails to read.
What do you read War and Peace?
Jesus.
Like, it's crazy.
My mother will.
What do you think she would have sent to your email?
Well, the thing is my mother I mean, she can't even get into her email because she always forgets her password. So she has at least 3. And she's gotten hacked. Like, I wouldn't even get an email from her to begin with. But if I did, I mean, what time of day are we talking? Like, what time? Like, let's be honest here. Love her to death.
For your post happy hour?
Yeah, like what sort of mood is she in? Love her to death. Love my mom forever. But yeah, it would depend on where the sun is in the sky.
And Meghan Markle has two kids. I think they're both boys. Archie and I don't know. Anyway, the reality is that neither of them have hit that weird, awkward preteen hitting puberty stage. And like, I'll tell you, like, that ain't when your parents are your most proud. They're most proud of you.
No. And I would just, having even a few voicemails from my mother stresses me out incredibly. You know what I mean? It's like, like these children are already in a really hard position.
Yes.
And much less being like, I am in the limelight and everyone already pre-hates me, but I have 4,000 emails to read.
And imagine too, like, if you have that many emails, you need to like buy
storage
space on Google, right? You're already giving that kid a subscription of the emails. And that it's like when your parents pass along stuff and you're like, well, I can't throw this out till they're dead. Like old pictures and stuff. It's like, I'm going to have to hang on to this until they're gone. And then they can't know, so that they, that they don't know I'm going to throw this out. Yeah. Like, you can't delete those emails.
No, you absolutely, because she's checking.
She's going to be like, I have the password.
I wouldn't be surprised if she wanted to watch them read them. Like, that's the kind of vibe she is.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah. Also, can I ask, did she do, because she has her podcast and everything, is there a big push for it right now?
So this is not, interesting that you asked that.
Because it's getting fed to me.
This is good, because this is the second half of the segment. I'm so glad you asked that. The reason I wanted to talk about this is more than just, it's not to bash Meghan. It's sometimes out of touch rich people clips are hilarious and they're worth watching, right? And that was an out of touch rich person thing. And also, at the end of the day, is it earnest? Probably not. Is it going to hurt anyone? No. Like, she clearly loves her kids. I'm not going to hate on that. But it is interesting with her and with Prince Harry, why things happen when they do. And so when I saw this interview, and I'm going to talk to you about the host of this interview, who's like, oh my God, I have chills. And what's happening in Prince Harry's life that I think are the reason that this interview came out.
Yep.
So the first thing is, the podcast is hosted by somebody named Kern Lima. Okay. Now, I hadn't heard of her, but that's not new on the internet, right? You could be like the biggest star in the world to your audience, and then the next person next to her has never heard of you, right? Like, that's very internet. Now, she has less than 100,000 followers on YouTube. Still pretty good at 76,000, but not anywhere in the neighborhood of somebody that you would expect to be interviewing Meghan Markle. And that's what that was the first thing that got me, because it's like, if Oprah interviews Meghan Markle, I'm like, well, she's Oprah.
Yeah.
If somebody with 10 million or 5 million subscribers interviews Meghan Markle, I'm like, well, that makes sense. They've got a huge audience. This person doesn't, in internet terms, have a huge audience.
So who is she?
Yeah.
Who is she hired by?
And they also, so here's what's interesting. When they start the show, this is what I really want you to like dive deep with me on this. Are you ready?
I'm ready, because I have questions about that.
So they called it Meghan's first podcast interview. And I thought that was strange, because Meghan has had multiple podcasts where she is doing the interviews and they ask her questions back.
Yeah.
And she's spoken to multiple people. And, there was she had the podcast with Spotify, which the head of Spotify podcast called a grift. And then she has this other one. And this one that she's on, this Kern Lima show, is very kind of schmaltzy. Yeah. It's like a Hallmark movie. And the intro to the show, just teasing the interview, is 5 minutes long. It's 5 minutes of just, here's what's coming up. 5 minutes of that.
Okay.
And then at the 5 minute mark, you get to the point where the host finally makes eye contact with the audience and goes, hi, I'm Jamie. And then explains what the show's about. And then they break to a promo of her and Oprah talking, like almost immediately afterwards. And that's another minute and a half. And then you think the show's starting again, but she is doing a 3-minute monologue about what she calls rocking chair friends. So this is the type of show this is, rocking chair friends that you're, when you're 90 and you're sitting on a porch and you've got a rocking chair, like, who's going to be sitting in the rocking chair?
Who's going to have a rocking chair in this economy?
Nobody. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Who can afford a patio, a porch?
God,
Wait, in this economy? Are you out of your mind?
I live in my basement.
You must be rich.
Yeah.
So that monologue lasts 3 minutes. And by the way, yes, she is rich. 3 minutes, and then they break into another tease with Meghan, and they finally get to the interview at about 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
Because the whole thing's 92 minutes.
So the whole thing's 92 minutes. The first 10% of it is literally just tease promo. Here's Meghan walking into my garden. Oh, by the way, I know Oprah. Like it's weird. It's very weird. So I'm like, who is this? Why are these production values so weird? And
it's also very expensive.
And I'm looking at the YouTube. And so Jamie Kern Lima has had.
You went deep. Yeah, he's done his investigate detective hat on.
I don't know who she is. She's had Meghan Markle, Melinda Gates, Whitney Wolf, who founded Bumble, Chelsea Handler, Mel Robbins, and Oprah. And that's all in the last 6 months. And what's interesting again is
industry plant.
Less than 100,000 subscribers. It feels like an industry plant. Not so. So she's really interesting.
How did she get? I mean, I don't want to discredit her, but Oprah, Mel Robbins, these are huge. Yeah.
And if you don't have a big audience,
you don't get
Mel Robbins is not going to come on your show unless you're paying Mel Robbins to be on your show. But Jamie Kern Lima is an American investor and media personality. She founded It Cosmetics, which sold to L'Oreal for $1.2 billion with a B in 2016.
Atta girl, okay.
She also was the first CEO of the L'Oreal brand, of a L'Oreal brand. And she's she's one of America's richest self-made women. Now, interestingly, her career starts, where do you think a career like that starts?
I mean, the hopeful, optimistic entrepreneur side of me, she started working in cosmetics on a shop level, working in a Shoppers kind of thing.
We will get to that, but she actually won the Baywatch College Search in 1999 and got to appear on an episode.
No way.
And she won the title of Miss Washington USA in late 1999 and competed in the Miss USA pageant, although that is mostly scrubbed from the internet. She doesn't want that out there. Most of the Baywatch stuff, all the pageant stuff, completely scrubbed.
But Detective Wild found it. Yeah.
And she said, after considering a career in finance, because this woman's not stupid.
No.
She applied on a dare to be a contestant on the first season of Big Brother. And she was there. And she was the last female house guest left on that first season. And Big Brother, like Survivor, exploded on the scene.
Yeah.
Right? Still going now, but it was huge. So in 2008, she founds It Cosmetics. After having difficulty with makeup products due to rosacea and hyperpigmentation. And basically, the business sort of struggled over the first few years, but she found that on the American version of the shopping channel, which is called QVC, that people were really interested. And she made over 1,000. She basically, she went on QVC, and showed how her makeup worked and how easy it was to wipe off.
Full coverage.
And all of her products in the first segment sold out. And she made hundreds of appearances on QVC afterwards.
You know what?
Isn't that crazy?
I just need to say, because I was thinking, and I said it at first, and I want to apologize for that, saying that she was an industry plant, because when these people explode out of, and have this sort of lineup, it feels like that. But she is a very, very smart self-made woman.
She is, but she is her own industry plant.
Yes.
Because she was not she went on QVC and did those segments.
Well,
but
she
wasn't like an interviewer.
She bought a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. She can pay for it.
Yeah.
She's apparently worth a quarter or half $500 million. So then.
Well, if you can buy the platform.
The first question of the interview at 9 minutes and 30 seconds, going it back, and you could tell, this is where she could tell she's not an interviewer. She goes, Meghan, how are you? Are you okay? She's like, no one ever asked that. Are you okay?
Close-ended question.
Yeah, and then Meghan's like, yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah.
But my question is always, okay, when Harry and Meghan are doing interviews, why are they on? What are they selling?
Yeah.
And that is, by the way, any show. Even Call Her Daddy, Joe, whatever. They're always on for a reason. They're selling something. They're trying to, popularize themselves, whatever it is. So what's interesting about Jamie's channel is that she can get video clips that do 100,000.
Yeah.
And you go, wow, that's really great. 100,000 views. That's crazy. But her content on her own only does about 350 sometimes. It's 350 total views.
Oh.
So, and the internet's really unforgiving like that, right? There's certain clips that go bananas, and then the next clip that you release, nobody's watching.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it works. So she didn't get any traction until she started getting these big interviews. I went back through her page. And so what she has discovered.
Didn't take any of it down. So you can see.
That's right.
Yeah, you can see the algorithm.
So clearly she's tapped her friends to go, come on my show. And Meghan felt comfortable because they're friends.
Yeah.
And that's totally cool. But why is Meghan Markle doing the interview?
Oh, dear.
Which brings me to my point. Did you hear about what happened in the UK this week?
Adam, where are we in this? Like, he's taking me down a rabbit hole.
This is a rabbit hole. Prince Harry lost a big case in the UK this week.
Oh, and that's why he did the. Sorry, keep going.
So
I'm hooked.
The question of his security and whether or not it should be covered by the palace / royal family, or if he's on his own since he cut himself off from the royal family. And here's what he told BBC News because he lost. He said, it's now impossible for me to take my family to the UK safely after he lost the legal challenge to the British government on Friday, changing his security arrangements after he stepped down from royal duties. King Charles' younger son, this is how the article goes, unsuccessfully sought to overturn a decision by Home Office, the ministry responsible for policing, which decided in 2020 he would not automatically receive the highest level of personal police protection in Britain. So Harry's side thought they were going to win this case, and they were very confident in it. And what they knew was that if he won this case, there would be a spike in interest in both him and Meghan. And so she went on a friendly podcast with a friendly interviewer, one of her friends, and got to talk about all the things, got all the softball questions thrown her way.
Yeah.
And he ended up losing the case. So if he had won it, okay, well, here's Meghan talking about how great, lovely family life is.
I'm
blah,
sending
blah, blah,
my baby's emails.
Yes, yeah. But he lost it. And now he's admitted, too, that he doesn't know where his father stands in terms of like his cancer diagnosis.
Yeah, he said, I don't know how long he has. Yeah.
Yeah. So this to me, entire clip, the whole thing is a bit of a PR nightmare. It's a bit of a mix and not exactly what they were expecting. And I think it's super interesting that it was leaked from the palace that the reason Prince or King Charles can't speak to Harry is not because he doesn't want to, but because he revealed so much in that book, Spare, that he feels completely uncomfortable talking about anything.
The trust is broken.
Because the trust isn't there and he's afraid it's going to leak.
And now it's a total side note, but it's funny because last night I was driving home and Siri, I was like, play Jamie XX, an artist. And I've said that before. It brings it up and it said, now playing Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, XX. So, and then I was like, hey Siri, play Jamie XX radio. I was like, play the best of Jamie XX, play Jamie XX. And it kept on feeding me Sussex.
Really?
And then I said the XX, like, which isn't a UK band, but because it has two X's. But then I tried I'm blanking on the artist name that I also said after that. But if it anyway sounded like Sussex, it was
right
so they're paying.
By the way, I just started playing Jamie XX on my computer.
Did it? See, okay, so the Megan's not paying the computer, hey, Siri, but I was like, oh, there's a push, or they have like, because it hasn't done that before. I was like, they must have something new out.
There's a push happening.
Listen, when I went to their wedding, Meghan and Harry,
I did go to their wedding. I think people should know that. Jackson went to their wedding.
I never saw this coming.
You covered it.
I covered it. I was by myself in a little paperboy outfit on the lawn. Let's be real, I wasn't at the wedding, but I was very close. But I thought it was a fairy tale romance, and my God, it's gone to hell since.
Yeah.
And I hope that everybody's okay.
I don't think they are.
No, I don't think. I think Adam, what a detective case.
So I know that was a bit of a long
I
walk
love that. Yeah.
But I just thought, I'm like, this is crazy what's going on here. And listen, everybody in Hollywood does this. Meghan and Harry are not dissimilar from anybody else.
No,
this is what they do. But don't be so obvious about it.
Can I also say, this is odd. It's, the title that she has Meghan on. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, in her first ever podcast interview, which obviously this isn't her first podcast, exclusive worldwide premiere episode of the Jamie Kern Lima show. But this is like her 7th episode. So it's not a premiere.
This is somebody that like
first ever time worldwide.
It's the world premiere is Meghan.
Another one. Yeah.
Meghan, and Meghan's done a lot of interviews. I don't know. I don't get it at all.